actually. Now, I would love to understand your business game plan. You exited FreeUp. I mean, you know how to build businesses to eight figures and over that in revenue and exit them very well. So that's a playbook you kind of already played. Why build like multiple small companies like Trio SEO or Outsource School, or different products and companies and products? And what is like your vision overall with this? Like, what's your game plan of business? I would love to understand your thought process about going this route.
Yeah, the game plans build a portfolio of businesses that run without me, put operators in place for each one, and build a media company around Connor and my brand. Connor has ConnorGillivan.com. I recently bought Hirsch or NathanHirsch.com. Yeah, I've been trying to buy that for years. Finally got it, so that'll be up soon. Hopefully, by the time people listening, they can check that out. But yeah, we have processes and content and free resources that we want to give away to people so that when they do need something that we offer, whether it's bookkeeping, SEO, hiring, we're top of mind and hopefully that they trust us. I mean, I've never been like a hard sales pitch person. I believe in my service. I believe it's fairly priced. I care a lot about the customer experience, a lot about customer service. Everything I do is around customer service. And if people are willing to give my company a chance, I'm honored and we're going to deliver for you. And I just want to be at the top of people's minds when they go to make that decision.
Fair enough, Nathan. Now, we already talked about different businesses which you started just with $5,000 and you're growing them right now. It could be SEO, the outsource school, and whatnot. Walk us through like a failure if possible. Like, what happened? You tried it, it didn't work out. What was the learning? When did you decide that, okay, it's not working? Let's just kill this right now kind of situation?
Yeah, I got a good one. So with Outsource School, we tried to build a software company off of it called Simply SOP. It's like a better version of Loom to store your SOPs. And we did the same thing. We did minimum viable product, built the software, used it ourselves. We liked it, and we started offering it to different people. And we just realized there wasn't a market for it. There's some other SOP software out there like Process Street and stuff like that. And but the real reason is most people don't need an SOP software. You can use Google Docs. You can use Loom. It's relatively cheap, if not free. So for people to pay for a software every single month to do what Google Docs does for free, people aren't going to do it. There's just not a big enough market for it. So lost a little bit of money, not a crazy amount of money. It was worth taking the risk because if you find the right SaaS, it can be a really lucrative business. But it failed. We ended up selling it back to the developer and focusing our time on something else. Now, it would have been way worse if we had spent 4 years working on this software and then tried to sell it and then realized there wasn't a market for it. So we're very happy that we kind of followed our process, got the minimum viable product out there, and pivoted once we realized there was no market.
Interesting. Nathan, there is two types of people we need in business, if I'm not mistaken. You can add some value here. Like people who we have strategic discussion, people who help us in tactical execution. You already talked about outsource school and how it can help people build tactical execution teams with virtual assistants and whatnot. What was your strategy about having the right strategic partners and actually going about hiring them? And how did you find Connor, and how did you make sure it was a great partnership overall?
Yeah, this is the one thing that I can't give advice on. It's how to find a good business partner because I got lucky. I after that accountant story that I told you happened, I posted on Facebook and I said, "Hey, I got an Amazon business. I'm looking to hire someone." And this kid in my business law class, who I probably said hi to a handful of times, messaged me and said, "Hey, I don't really understand what you do, but I'm looking for a job." And I just hired him. I didn't even have an interview process on the spot, and I ended up picking him up every day because he didn't have a car and driving him to my house to work. And he started off adjusting prices for me and doing bookkeeping. And those car rides ended up being key because on the way to and from, he lived on campus. I was off campus at the time. We just talked business and we said, "Hey, we learned a lot about each other. We learned about how we wanted to be entrepreneurs, what his skill set was, what our values are as human beings, and got to know each other." And as his Amazon business grew, I could tell he was really taking ownership of it and ended up making him a partner of that. When I started FreeUp, I actually made him a part owner of that, and he was working on some other stuff at the beginning. He wasn't 100% sure he wanted to focus on FreeUp. FreeUp started to take off. He wanted to go full time. I said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And we rewrote our operating agreement, and we've been business partners ever since. And the reason it works is because we have the same values. We care about treating people well, owning up to our mistakes, being honest, upfront, but we have very, very different skill sets. I'm a little bit more talkative, a little bit more on the customer service and process and sales side. He's really good on the SEO and the marketing side. And we complement each other very well. What he hates doing, I like doing, and vice versa. So that's my overall advice. Excuse me. My overall advice of finding a good partner is someone who has the same values, but a different skill set. How to actually find that person, I don't know. I would kind of point to how we found Steven, our operator. We network with a lot of people throughout the years and get to know them and look for characteristics of people that we would want to work with.
Fair enough. Wow, that's a great story, Nathan.